So this next installment takes place when I was 13 years old. And on this particular day that I'm talking about, I was in detention. No surprise, huh? So I was in detention and I missed a fist fight that happened between two kids, Jerry and Alan, and I'm using pseudonyms in case they're watching. But Jerry and Alan were beefing during school and decided to settle it after school. Now, I wasn't really close friends with either of these kids, but I did know that Jerry was the only other type 1 diabetic at my school. And so I came out of detention and my friend was waiting for me to brief me about what happened. He told me that Alan had gotten the better of the diabetic kid, Jerry. It was a quick fight. Alan had beaten him up, and now Alan and his gang were fleeing the scene. And as we watched them leave, a woman came and got in my face, and she was an adult. And she grabbed me and she said, "Hey, did you do this to my son?" And I looked over her shoulder, and sure enough, there was Jerry standing there. He had a shiner, maybe a busted lip. He looked pretty beat up, but it was clear his major injury was his pride. And I was nervous because I was, being accused, I thought, by this adult who was right in my face. So I laughed and I said, "No." And she said, "Don't you laugh. He's a type 1 diabetic." Now, my immediate response to this, as you might have imagined, was, So what? So am I. And I might have added that, who cares if he got in a fight and got his butt whooped? That has nothing to do with the fact that he's diabetic. And, her immediate response was, "No, you're not." And of course, Jerry chimed in from behind and said, "Yeah, Mom, yeah, he is." She was flabbergasted, flummoxed, and I'm sure she was really upset about her son being beaten up after school. Now, I don't want to disparage Jerry's mom. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be the parent of a type 1 diabetic child. And I have 3 children of my own, so if I showed up at school and found one of them beaten up, I'd be running around asking questions too. I'd probably go in the office and ask questions there as well. But I will tell you that this kid was definitely in the same or similar, maybe worse, situations where my parents also rolled up on the scene. And I'm happy to say that never once did they point out my diabetes in that type of situation as a reason to not beat me up. Don't beat up my son Jerry. He's type 1 diabetic. Well, you know what? Jerry was like the rest of us, and that's all he wanted to be. He could talk smack at school and get into an altercation with another kid where it came to them challenging each other to a fight after school, which is something that's still going on with 13-year-old boys, by the way, parents. So, my point is, I understand, okay? And if his blood sugar was out of control or he had some other issues going on that were related to his diabetes, that's all good and fine. But parents, let's not go out and bring out the diabetes as a reason to treat the children differently, unless it really is. That's one reason I'm telling this story, but another reason I'm telling it is because it stayed with me. And it really helped me to form my own opinion about when is the best time to bring up the type 1 diabetes. So I hope that helps everybody, and please keep watching as I will keep exploring this in the next 2 episodes and come to a conclusion as to why this influenced me not to disclose my diabetes for 11 years at a job.